Breakdown with Justin Hunte.
Justin, what up, man? We got a crazy week. A lot of arrests.
A lot of arrests, man. I feel like Rap went to jail last week.
Oh, it was a tough one.
One of them already happened, right? We saw Tekashi get arrested late last year.
Yeah, I don't know anything that happened in the trial. I don't know what went on. Catch me the fuck up.
There actually hasn't been a trial yet. So he was arrested. He was charged along with other members of Treyway, New York's 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, full name. Last year they were charged with firearms charges under the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, or RICO charges, which is not what anybody wants. So they've all been sitting in custody since November, essentially. Last week was breaking news. Tekashi has pleaded guilty to 9 charges relating to his arrest and will cooperate with federal prosecutors as they investigate Treyway and their activities. Now, if convicted of the crimes to which he has already pled guilty, Tekashi could face a minimum of 47 years, up to a life sentence in prison.
But he's going to be pointing at some cats.
But if he testifies and cooperates with federal prosecutors during their investigation, he could gain leniency at his sentencing. But the court, again, is not scheduled until September 2019.
All right, so so they're just he's out on bond though, right? Or
he is not on bond yet.
He's not.
No,
damn,
he's not on bond yet.
This is weird because there's a lot of happy people out there because he was such a troll, and I'm indifferent. I'm like, yeah. It was almost like he was too smart for his own good. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure what the smart part was.
Well, he was like so good at trolling and like keeping his fucking face out there and like being provocative, and like the kids loved him, and like people with sense was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know what I mean? Like,
I still don't know if that's smart. I think that's just keeping the phone on.
It takes a certain type of intelligence to be able to do that shit. You know what I mean? Like to be able to know what buttons to push.
I definitely think there's a craftiness, but he was running around dissing cats. I don't know how smart that is. I mean, look, I think he felt so protected, I think, right? And truthfully so. I mean, if what 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods are accused of is true, he definitely had support behind him. So all of his threats, all of his craziness would go without consequence. One thing I do think is interesting about this timeline is that a year ago to this month was when he got into the fight with Aquelio at the airport. Really the only time we've seen him in an altercation.
And that really wasn't a fight. His boys was kind of fighting, and he was like,
yes,
jumping around in the background. Like,
yes, he was screaming Treyway from far away.
Yeah, he was. I got your back, way back.
Right. You know, I mean, just to keep in mind again how quickly this rise and fall really was.
Yeah, and it was like he's on the Breakfast Club, like just cocky as ever. You know what I mean? Just like I think a lot of people wanted to see this fall from grace, and they're getting their way.
I think so too. Yeah. I don't know if I wanted to see him fall this way, right? I have a hard time.
What did you want to see him do? Like
fall off?
Just not like fall away.
Yeah, right. I wanted people to think his music was whack or something. I don't know. I wouldn't even go that far because I personally I didn't have a problem with his music.
Yeah, I like MOP,
but I just don't like it when people run around talking so much junk about people and nobody smacks him. I just want somebody to get one good smack on him, maybe.
Well, that's because he was like real. That's what I'm saying. He was crafty, dog. Like he was a crafty motherfucker. He would talk mad shit and then like roll up with the police. You know what I mean? Like he would talk mad shit and then go to Chicago, like one of the most violent spots, and just be hanging out with the cops. You know, like that. Like that's crafty.
Showing up in the hood at 4 a.m. when the block is dry.
Yeah.
When the block is cold, put it on the gram. I mean, it's so crazy. Now, there's something else that came out of the court hearing last week. Tekashi acknowledged his association with the gang, and then he said this in the hearing. I paid a person to shoot at a rival member of 9 Trey to scare him. He confessed that he did this in order to maintain or increase his own standing within Treyway.
That's
on record.
Wow.
Now, the thing that's coming out of this is everyone expects him to start pointing fingers. They're calling him Snitch 9.
Well, I mean, if he cooperates, he is going to have to start pointing fingers.
Do you think he's wrong to do so? I'm on the fence about that.
I don't know. There's this thought experiment that college people do. It's called the prisoner's dilemma, and it's like I'm gonna butcher this shit. It's like me and you go to jail. If neither one of us say anything, we can both go free. If I tell on you, you go to jail and I go free. And if you tell on me, you get free. But if we both tell on each other, we both go to jail. And there's some mathematical equation that your best bet is just to snitch. Like that is the fucking. So
I mean, yeah. Once that seed of doubt is planted, right?
Yes.
If we're separate, and they're poking at me that you about to snitch on me.
Yeah, that was, and I'm not smart, so like I don't know how to break the shit down, but that someone smarter than me was like, yes, the fucking your highest chances is to tell on that person.
It's interesting because if both people snitch, what happens? Do both people get arrested?
Yeah, both people get arrested.
I'm pretty sure that's got to be a pretty common success rate there.
Yeah.
You know, the reason I'm on the fence about Tekashi is from reports, it seems like Treyway wasn't his homies at the end anyhow. There was the week before, maybe 2 weeks before he was arrested.
Right.
He was in Mr. Chow's, I think, the restaurant, and he was having dinner with Elliot Grange, who was the head of the label that he signed to. This is Lucian Grange's son. Lucian Grange is head of Universal Music. Allegedly, Treyway rolled up there. Gunshots went out with security and with Treyway. There was other allegations that Treyway was coming after 6ix 9ine towards the end because their affiliations were separating.
That's kind of how it goes. Like, someone gets caught and they're being offered deals. They're trying to get that deal off the table.
I think this was before the arrest.
Oh, no shit.
Like, they were just falling out on their own. And there was another report allegedly Treyway was taking the majority of the fees that 6ix 9ine was receiving for his shows, his bookings. I mean, they're providing him security support. Allegedly, Treyway was the reason why he got robbed outside after the video shoot for Fifi. There was clearly friction back and forth. There's another allegation that Shoddy, who's the guy everyone just called Treyway because he was the guy who was out there throwing up Treyway so hard by it, was smacking bellies with Tekashi's baby mama.
So he was just it sounds like he was just like a puppet.
Yes. And yes, it sounded like he was a mark, a puppet, a cash account, an ATM card, whatever.
It was just their little dancing. It was just their little dancing fella. Go dance and make us some money.
If I'm in prison and I'm Tekashi, I'm probably snitching. I mean, 47 to life is a long time anyway.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm making bets, I don't think he's gonna keep quiet. Look, man.
Is it snitching if they're not your homies anyway?
Yeah. And the thing is like this isn't like 50 years ago with the fucking Costa Nostra. You know, like mobsters keeping their mouth shut.
Right.
For the most part. Like even all them mob motherfuckers started telling on one another. Like cats just started telling, bro. Like they changed them laws and started giving people real fucking life. You looking 50 in the face.
Right.
Like, yeah. I don't know what I would do. You know what I would do? Not get involved in shit like that. That's what I would do. That's you got to be careful. There's been families that I'm cool with, and I've had to stop hanging out with them because I'm like, they're willing to go way further than I am, and I recognized that early, and I was like, I can't fuck with these cats because they way wilder than me. Like, and like it looked like he was in a situation like that. Like he was around some motherfuckers that were way wilder than him and took his shit. You know what I mean? Like they got that motherfucker.
50 Cent gave his take quickly in a conversation with DJ Drama this week. We have about a minute and a half of what 50's saying.
Let's hear what 50 says.
I don't think how like 6ix 9ine is not from the street. Mm-hmm. All right. I liked him because like I liked Soulja Boy. Like when he came, I looked and I was like, he's 16 years old. He produced the record, made the dance, got his homeboy, and then shot it. I want to see him have a hit. That guy that does it. Like, 'cause I couldn't do that at 16. Mm-hmm. You know, so I thought he had something in, like, I was like, yo, he's special. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They do all that. And then with 6ix 9ine, his imaging was stronger than the music. Mm-hmm. Because middle America, the people that actually purchasing hip-hop music, they can dye their hair blonde and then dye their hair those colors. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And then they see them in the element that they've been... Hip-hop allows you to be on the safari and get close enough to the animals without being in danger. And they're seeing him in the safari. In the middle of the whole pack, and you cooking, and the little homies he had around him. And I say it because when I use little, only because they... Like my crew's baby brothers. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Little, they're younger. Mm-hmm. The next litter of it was around. Mm-hmm. They don't go. Mm-hmm. So while he was talking, that's why he would say, suck them up. Mm-hmm. Anybody say something, suck them up. Because you know for sure they're going to do it. They'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was good.
He's talking about how how privileged he felt because how he was so protected.
Yeah, that protection came at a cost.
He was selling the image so hard, like you were saying, the craftiness.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like this is where he wasn't. He was so smart. He outsmarted himself. He didn't realize that he was the meal.
Right. He was the animal in the safari.
Yeah, he didn't realize he was the turkey.
He was the gazelle.
They was finna carve up. But he's got a chance.
We have another quick clip here of Tekashi's baby mama. If you're interested, she is upset about what's happening,
about the rumors and everything.
About the rumors of snitching. She fears for her safety.
My reaction initially, I just think it's disappointing.
How come?
'Cause I expected way more out of the situation. It's just sad, honestly, to see all these men dragged into something that's really ugly. I've been with him 7 years, and the fame that he's had within a year, the success, is just sad to see how it's going now. It's just disappointing and it's sad.
Do you feel that you and your daughter are at risk?
In a sense, yeah, absolutely. He did what he did. He made his bed. Now he has to lie in it. But he didn't think of how it's going to affect others. He's only thinking about himself in the situation. So, I mean, I'm left to pick up the pieces of whatever mess he's made, which is and has always been a thing.
If he came back to you and said he wants a relationship with his daughter, how would you feel about that?
I don't feel like he's in the space right now. until I feel like he's in a space in life and a solid situation. I can't feel comfortable allowing him to bring whatever he has with him into my daughter's life. That my job is to protect my daughter at all costs, and even if that means him.
Boy, eyebrows look good.
It was all good just a week ago.
It was all good just a week ago.
Now, there's also questions around, obviously Tekashi's family, because if he does point fingers.
Yeah, they do have this shit called, like, witness intimidation and shit like that. And they got ways to make people not want to testify.
Oh, man. I don't think I've seen a story like this. Even Bobby Shmurda, because Bobby Shmurda was in a similar situation.
Yeah.
It was actually, there was a story last week that said Bobby Shmurda added 2 years got 2 years extra on his time in order to take 2 years off of Roddy Rebel, who was another member of GS9 who was arrested with him.
Damn.
That was a report that was out there last week. But Bobby Shmurda was 6 months, one song. Tekashi was 1 year, all these hits.
Yeah, and
everywhere.
I like Bobby Shmurda's song better than all the Tekashi shit.
I definitely know the Bobby Shmurda song.
Yeah.
But then he was snitching in that song. Mitch caught a body about a week ago.
Yeah. There's a lot of rappers that be doing that shit, like fucking saying, I'm not going to throw any of them under the bus right now, but yeah, there's a lot of them. They'd be like, remember on September 9th behind the high school? And you're like, damn, dog, like, fucking chill out with you saying all of this. And he was wearing some white Nikes. And
no, I don't remember.
Nah,
I do not remember that.
I know it rhymes and shit. That's cool, but, like, you shouldn't be saying that on track, dog. You should not be saying that on track. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. This is... Now we got majority older cats that listen to us, so I have a feeling I see where this one's gonna go. I see where this one's gonna go. Hey, but that's like, look, man, that's be careful, yo, dog. Like, if you not a gangster, don't be fucking with no gangsters. Don't get in too deep, because they're gonna decide when it's over. You don't get to decide when it's over. I think that's a lesson to learn. That's one lesson you can take from it. Another one was, it wasn't like my man was low key. You know what I mean? Like, he was not low key. He was turned up. If you could turn up to 10, he was turned up to 12. You know what I mean? He was all the way on 12 all the fucking time, talking hella shit. They got hip hop cops. They got they got people that just focus on that shit.
ICE is a part of hip hop cops now.
Yeah, straight up. It's like, yeah, he ain't the first one either. They got Slick Rick way back in the day. Remember that shit? Fucking like,
right.
Yeah, it's like, yo, bro, like they're and if you popping off and dirty, like, they'll come get you. And that's on every level, bro. Like, you talking shit about certain shit, fuck around, get audited. You know what I mean? Even if you clean, they'll audit you. And if you dirty, they're gonna find some shit. They're gonna come for you. Like, sometimes you gotta be humble. Sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. But that was the gift and the curse. He was so good at fucking trolling, bro. He was troll king. Like, there was nobody trolling like him last year.
Yeah, man. He put people on defense. There was people who were on the defensive in his interviews that I'm not even sure I've seen be on the defensive in those type of conversations. Yeah. His Breakfast Club interviews are legendary.
Yeah. Yeah, he sat down and ran. He ran court.
He ran court.
He held court at Breakfast Club, which is not easy to do.
Not easy to do.
Charlamagne is a tough interview.
He had Charlamagne qualifying himself. This kid was built out of this era. And meteoric rise, fantastic fall.
Let's go to MJ in Atlanta. MJ, what up, though?
What up? Now, actually, I know somebody from Treyway, and this has been a downfall for about a year, to be honest. Of course, I ain't giving no names because I ain't Tekashi, but he was a Bobby Shmurda who wasn't smart enough to do it. And the reason this fell apart about a year ago is because he kept claiming Treyway, and like old boy said on the air, he was kind of just like a bank account. So when the money was coming in, they're like, all right, cool. But when he started bringing all that air to them, they're like, look, we trying to do our thing, and you over here bringing air to us for no reason. Like, you screaming Treyway everywhere you go. Like, when he went to Chicago, he know when he went to Chicago. He went to Chicago early in the morning when nobody was out. And the thing about it is, when he went to Chicago, the part of it that he didn't show on the video was that it had 2 cops sitting down the street. Tekashi been trying to get somebody locked up. So now that everything that fell apart, now he trying to get Treyway locked up to get himself out of jail. He done. Because even when he do get out, he's still done.
He's got a good point. Yeah.
It's a lifetime scar.
Even when he get out, he's still done. So it's one of those things. It's like you could live your life in jail, or you could get out of jail and then live 2 days of life. So it's kind of to the point where he trying to. I don't get what he's doing, because right now he putting his family in a bind. You got to take your hit and go from there. You messed up. So now you're going to start snitching on people you know going to kill you and your family? Nah, that's not how the game works.
Let's go to G in Atlanta. Thanks, MJ. G.
Yo, what's going on, man? Glad to finally talk to you. You know, my thoughts are the same. You know, if you involved in something, why go tell on everybody else? You know, I think it's real whack to do that. You know, you're involved in it. Own it. Be a man. Do your time like everybody else. You know, he was big and walking around and screaming at Bloods in Cali, and you know, it came back to bite him. And now the baby mama don't even want nothing to do with him. So. It's crazy.
I know she was eating good off of him for this last year.
Right.
Now she doesn't know. Now she doesn't know if the kid's gonna get to see the dad now.
She was a little dicey, man.
Yeah, that fucking that tune changed real quick.
Yeah.
Her tune changed real quick.
There's another video of the baby mama out there saying that, you know, it's okay if she starts tricking around because it worked out for China, Black China and Amber Rose.
Damn.
Goals.
This is a whole new, man. It's a whole new generation, man. This is crazy.
Life goals.
This is crazy. 888-742-3345. Let's go to JB in Chicago. JB.
Yo, what's happening?
Go ahead, man. You on?
Yeah, man, I just want to add on to what the first brother said about when he came to Chicago. We was looking for that dude, point blank period. He had the police. If you look at the pictures, he had the police with him. So, you know, like he said, it seemed like he was already trying to work with those people. So, like I said before, it's the new generation, they'll do anything for some money. Not saying the old generation didn't snitch, but my thing is, if you high profile, they're going to get you to tell, period. Every high profile person that was making all this noise and being seen, they told. Frank Lucas, Nicky Barnes, all these dudes.
He's got a good point. White boy break.
What's the other dude? Sammy the Bull.
Yep, Sammy
the Bull. All of them dudes, high profile people snitch.
Yeah, that's the new yeah. If they can get out at 52, they're gonna
right.
As opposed to 77, they're gonna they start saying shit.
You get out in time to watch your Netflix series.
And a lot of cats. The other thing is a lot of these cats be selling dope and working with the cops at the same time. You know what I mean? It's not like this is their first relationship with them. You know what I mean? Like they pretend like they don't fuck with cops, but like everyone's in it. Like it's a big hustle all together. Right. You know what I mean? So
you gotta keep just enough people out in the street to have job security.
Let's go to Aaron and Pontiac. Aaron.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, so I'm just calling to speak on the whole, you know, what the public thinks about the snitching thing. And I'm from Pontiac, Michigan, and, you know, not without being too specific, you know, I did my own thing, you know, getting money, this, that, and third, and I, you know, got involved in the shit that comes with getting money, you know, some beef. And long story short, there was some gunplay, and the motherfucker snitched on me and one of the homies. But it's funny because one of the homies that he snitched on wasn't even the homie that was with me when the shit went down. Anyway, what my point is they picked us both up, and this is real shit. Like, the homie I know is not going to say nothing, but the cops got me. I got no record. He's got a long record. And the cops are straight up telling me, we know you didn't do it. We know you didn't do it. Just tell us. And shit, you can go home and sleep in your bed tonight. And I'm thinking to myself, like, look, I got no record. I get a lot less time versus, you know, what the homie would be looking at for the same charge because he's got a record. Dog, 100 on my mom, told on myself to keep the homie from doing like a 10, 15 piece, and I only ended up doing like 3.5 because I have no record.
Well, he keep
Again,
it.
if they would have charged the homie with the exact same crime.
Did he look out for you when you was in jail? Did he look out for you when you was in jail?
I mean, you know what? No, he didn't.
And that's,
but, you know, it ain't even like I really care about that because, yeah, you know, we fell out when I got out because he didn't, but that didn't, you know, take no effect. Like I would, if I did, I had to do it over, I'd do it the same way. It's just, you know, certain motherfuckers are cut like that, and clearly Tekashi ain't cut like that. He just wanted to make it seem like he was.
Was your life better by doing that? Do you feel like
is mine?
Yeah, you feel like your life has been better?
Yeah, oh yeah, man, 180. Like I'm not even bullshitting. When I went to prison, that probably saved me because it was gonna be one or two other ways that would have ended. I would have did a whole hell of a lot more than 3, 4, or I'd have just been dead. So you know, I did my little time, learned I was young as hell. I was.
And he actually did the crime. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I did it, but
he actually did the crime. So
if he got off, he would have been doing more crimes.
Yeah,
you start feeling invincible.
Right, but yeah, what I'm saying is, I did it, but instead of me just being a little bitch about it and like, yo, I can get out of this if I just tell on my homie, even though he didn't do it. Like that's beside the point, whether I did it or not.
All right,
the
cool.
point
Thanks,
is,
man.
if I would have snitched, I would have did 0.
All right.
But,
yeah. We heard. All right, man. Thank you. Yak time. Hey, Boogie.
What's going on, Jude?
Shit, chilling, man. Go ahead. OKC in this bitch.
Man, let's talk about this here for a second. This ain't gonna be about me. This is gonna be about the game today and what Tekashi's in. All right. So this cat was involved with a gang that's been being investigated for the past 5 years, right? And that's his main thing, why he's telling right now, is so that way he doesn't get hit with all them charges that they're trying to put on him for the last 5 years. He's like, look, I've only been with this gang since fall of 2017 or whatever to today. And, you know, this and this and this is what we did. But at the end of the day, he wanted to be gangster, right? So you take what's going to be given to you if you're gangster. You get shot, you take that. You get robbed, you take that. You get put in jail, you take that. You know what I mean? It's just like you've been saying, man. Sometimes you take that L, you take that hit on the chin, and you keep walking, you know?
This is going to be a hell of a hit.
Today, man, it seems like this is the fashionable thing to do. Everybody wants to tell on everybody. You know, man, it's been publicized. It's been glorified almost, you know. You get out here, you do this, you get your street cred, you live on that for a little bit, and then whenever you get caught, all of a sudden it's, well, I know AWAX did this. I know A Boogie did this. I know so-and-so did this. Here's Slim over here. He did this. You know what I mean?
I feel like the judge is kind of joking with him, man, trolling him a little bit. They gave him 47 years to life. He's 22 years old. So it's literally 69. Like, he'll get out when he's 69.
Hell no.
I feel like they're trolling him. Like they did
those numbers together. That's pretty funny.
This is the number of match. His forehead.
Let's go to Carlos and Salinas. Los.
Hey, what up, man?
Go ahead, bro.
Just going back to Tekashi's whole situation, man. I don't really think he was ever really envisioned as an actual street thug. You know, he was just kind of there for entertainment. And you kind of see things that he's done and his whole racketeering charges and stuff. I think it's more of the people he was surrounded with. You know, that got him in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But the problem was this: he was claiming it. That was other people was doing it, and he was yelling it and claiming it. It's just like, well.
He confessed to it in court. I mean, keep in mind, again, he literally in court said that he was the one who, you know, asked these guys to shoot at one of his rivals. I paid a person to shoot at a rival member of Treyway to scare him.
Yeah, you don't think the money had nothing to do with, him being able to claim that type of shit?
Even that is like you pay someone to scare them.
Still.
You know, like, hey, man, shoot.
Handle this for me.
Shoot.
He was good.
12 feet left of that dude.
Nah, he had a lot of stuff going on in music. You know, he was kind of here for entertainment, but I don't know. If you ask anybody around, you just kind of envision him as like a, cute little guy on TV, but, I mean, he's not no real street thug.
All right, we're going to play a song and then come back and finish up with these calls. 888-742-3345. Tekashi 6ix 9ine, he was, we probably did a few hours on his ass, huh, Just?
Man, we probably have enough for a Tekashi mini doc.
Yeah, straight up. Thank you, Tekashi. To this day, I couldn't. I bet you I could pick out a Tekashi song. Like if it sounded like M.O.P., then I'd be like, oh, that's a Tekashi song. That's how I'd be able to tell. But I don't know none of his songs. He had a bunch of hits, and
yeah, I think it's about right. Spliffy Ock with the blicky Ock with the blicky with the.
He was every white 12-year-old's girl's favorite rapper.
Man, I mean, it really is remarkable what he experienced within 1 year. You know, I don't know that many people who got into a fight at an airport. He got one. You know what I mean? I don't know that many people who've ever out-trolled Charlamagne on Breakfast Club. I don't know that many people who can survive dissing Rap A Lot records. Like, there's just so many things. I don't know people who were at a video shoot with Kanye and Nicki Minaj that got shot at.
Yeah, it was a bunch of, he did have that Rap A Lot shit irritated me. That shit, I was like, man, you gonna talk all that shit and then be like, I'm not coming on until they leave. Get them out of here. Yeah. It's like, oh, man. It's like you really got to question someone's gangster, you know? That's why I don't be fucking running around like, fuck that squad, fuck this squad, fuck that squad. Because I know I'll get beat up.
But even the way he flipped it, though, I mean, that turned into one of those memes now where it's like, stupid. Like, what am I supposed to, if I know they there to get me, why am I going to go out there? I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
It's like he covers all the bases all the time, and it always made sense.
He was speaking to a whole new generation of people that play by a whole new, like, it's just, he was the champion of the bitch-made generation, where everyone got trophies and fucking, I'm like,
generation fruit.
Yeah, just like, like, could you imagine like some old school rappers doing some shit, the shit that he did? They wouldn't have a career. He fucking built a career.
Yeah,
like talking shit and then go hanging out with the cops. You know what I mean? Like that'd have been it. That'd have been it. The Source would have had an article about it, and fucking they would gave his next album 2 mics no matter what. You know, like that would have been it. Like that's all. It's just it was just a new generation. They play by different rules out here now.
I think the generation has come up no longer thinking or believing that what happens on social media has to be real. You know, we're old enough to see the internet show up, right? And much like rap music, there was a level of authenticity, I think, that we expected. These kids don't expect that. I mean, watching Insta stories the same thing as watching The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So it's all just whatever.
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, they got a different idea of reality.
I mean, we see, you know,
they don't go outside.
And if they do go outside, they bring their phones.
Yep. Here's a look. These are good points right here. Mike in Miami. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, man, look, all I'm trying is everyone's on here talking all that shit, like they stand up and wouldn't snitch and all that bullshit. But if you heard a phone conversation where your quote-unquote homies were plotting to kill you, fucking right, I'm telling on everybody, because all the rules are out the door at that point. You trying to kill me? Okay, you're not my boy. So snitching is out the door at this point. And, you know, all the antics and telling people to suck my dick, and yeah, all that shit's uncalled for. But at the end of the day, if you trying to kill me, I'm telling.
Yeah.
Unless I'm going to kill you, you know what I mean? But still.
Yeah, that's if you notice, I didn't address whether or not he should or shouldn't snitch, because like I hear where Mike's coming from. It's like sometimes it's like, what you gonna do? Die? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
for your rivals, you're gonna die for the op.
Yeah.
At this point, they're op.
Yeah, he might have to Henry Hill that shit.
Right.
He might have to Henry Hill it.
You got to, especially if you got kids. You know what I mean?
I'll Sammy the Bull that in a second.
Hell yeah, I'm telling. Fuck that. All right,
Right.
y'all. Peace.
But see, that's I'm just like not getting in them situations, so I don't have to. I'm just not getting in them situations, so I don't have to do that. Because I don't know if I'll be able to look at myself in the mirror. You know what I mean? Like, probably will. Yeah, probably.
Looking at yourself in a jail mirror.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, it's like, yeah. And look,
mirror.
but that's the other thing, man. I know some real motherfuckers that, like, you know, did Fed time and didn't say shit, and came back good. You know, like.
See, I agree with that last caller, because again, like, you know, Treyway wasn't holding them down. Is it snitching at that point? They already, you know, stole how many millions of dollars from him?
It's kind of weird though, because it was like, if it wasn't for Treyway, he wouldn't have been able to do half the shit he did either. You know, like, he would have got touched quickly. He wouldn't have been doing all that barking either without Treyway. So it was like Treyway was the gift and the curse. Gerard in New Orleans.
Yeah, man. What's going on, man?
Chilling.
It's kind of like what the guy last caller said. You know what I'm saying? That, like, in the hip-hop game and the rap game, we kind of glorify, we pick and choose, we glorify for snitching and not snitching. You got, like, Nicky Barnes that was betrayed by his group in the council, and he snitched, and Nicky Barnes is still a hero. And then you have, like, look at the Mafia, you look at Sammy the Bull. Sammy the Bull took down the whole Gotti organization. And, you know, he was a hitman and all, and now Sammy Bull's children have TV shows. So it kind of go back to the last caller, what you guys saying is, like, you know, not right or right, wrong is wrong, but when someone do something or they go against them, everything's out the book now. Then we kind of pick and choose who's okay to snitch and who's not okay to snitch.
Yeah, look, we live in a world of grays. It's not black and white. Every situation is different. I'm just happy I'm not gonna have to hear about his ass on Instagram for a while.
Right.
No, he'll probably have a fucking burner phone.
You know, he's
gonna have a goddamn burner in that bitch and fucking be on Instagram and jail and shit.
Everybody's gonna give us updates on what Tekashi's doing.
I'm gonna have to watch that motherfucker duck walk through the yard. Fucking IG Live.
If we're hearing about Bill Cosby playing Cliff Huxtable in prison, we definitely gonna be hearing about.
Wait, what?
There's been stories about Bill Cosby in prison has been walking around doing Cliff Huxtable impressions.
That motherfucker is like, I am not getting beat up. Don't shake me. I'm just a little rapey. Now I'm in jail. Wanna run some spades? Zippy dude. This is my fucking whack ass Cosby shit. What's he do when he gets all horny and wants to fuck his wife at the end of the episode?
He pulls out the pudding pops.
Yep. He gets one of them little fifis or whatever the fuck them shits are called.
Right.
Fucks it.
Finds him a little dummy boy.
All right, John in Cleveland.
What's up, boss? Look, straight to the point. This kid was already flipped, period. So he was the loudest wolf, the weakest wolf, and they want the biggest wolf. So he was already flipped. I mean, being around it, I mean, I'm 52, so I've done some dirt. The feds is not going to waste their time on somebody that can't flip. This is not state, this is feds. And when he do go to fed prison, they're going to make sure he's going to be protected, because if not, and they put him in general population, he hit. He done. So, and I don't even listen to some of this shit they got on, because everybody's snitching on here. If you listen, they taking this, I'm flipping this bird, I'm doing this. They all, and the feds just sit back and they just document it. That's what they do. And when it's time to flip something and make some noise, make an example out of somebody, he's going to be the example. But believe me, he already been flipped, because his life was already threatened. He knew what time it was, because he's not street smart. So whenever you got a kid that's on, they videotaping this kid, talk about he putting a hit on somebody, man, come on. He already been, he been flipped. So that's just my point of view, again, just from my past experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. Carlos in North Carolina, go ahead.
Yeah, they was like the last caller just said, he's the weak link in the crew, so they knew they was gonna be able to flip him. And you know, Ben, I'm sort of like your last caller. I just did some fair time, and man, listen, if that dude touch a yard, he gonna get stabbed up. He gonna get extorted. He can't go anywhere in the feds. The feds ain't like the state. They're not gonna protect him. They gonna put his ass on the yard, and he got to fend for himself. They gonna extort him. He might get raped. You know, like dude gonna get the business when he get in the feds. And yeah, you know what? It's more common than not that they snitch. Like the feds got a 90-something percent conviction rate for a reason, but that's mostly because of guilty pleas. But then when them dudes do plead guilty, they snitch. I had 15 people tell on me. It started with 3 people. I ended up getting 30 years because I wouldn't snitch. They try to make an example out of you when you don't snitch.
Yeah, you fight. You
really,
fight the case.
One of your callers said something about he would have told or whatever. Yeah, because he ain't built like that. You know, like everybody's not built for it, man. And really, like if you're not built for it, you need to stay out the way, because you in the way. You in the way. It's dudes who doing that to, you know, who like the rappers. A lot of the rappers really not street dudes. They just know how to act and portray street dudes. They good actors, you know. And dude was a good actor. He fooled a lot of people.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a surprise. No, it wasn't a surprise. I would have been surprised if he didn't tell.
Well, we don't know if he's gonna tell yet. We should make bets. I'm betting on tell.
I'm betting he snitches.
I'm betting on tell.
He ain't trying to get out of jail when he's 69.
Yeah, and he's right. They're gonna have to protect his ass because he's gonna go in there with that long hair and shit. Nah.
Generation fruit.
Yeah, nope, it's not gonna look good for him. We're gonna turn him into a Tijuana whore. No, it's not gonna be good. No, Justin, I appreciate you coming in here. Do you have any words of advice for Tekashi?
I don't. I think, I just think it was a great ride. I am not one of these people who's happy to see him in this circumstance. I'm actually surprised about how serious all of this was. I for a long time really believed that there was a 100% troll behind everything, regardless of how real these cats were that were behind him. I assume everybody has some sort of support,
right?
But their whole situation ate itself.
I thought the streets was gonna get him before the feds got him, and I'm a bit surprised by it. But like I was saying off air, I feel for him the same way I feel for cattle going to get slaughtered. Like, oh well. Like this is he made a lot of decisions. You know what I mean? It took a lot of decisions for him to get to this point, and here we are. So I'm indifferent to it. And I think there's a lot of, like we said before, there's a lot of old heads that aren't from that generation that are giddy than a motherfucker right now. They're fucking like, yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get. I'm not that guy, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah. He should have left the country when he had a chance, man. I would have found a nice little island somewhere with no extradition policy. You can see when there's feds outside your house, man, the cars are different. People start moving different around you.
Yeah, man. I saw all the bricks of money he had. That shit goes a long way in Guatemala.
Right. You would have found me in some indescript Asian island somewhere.
Straight the fuck
somewhere
up.
near India. Chilling.
Like Bob Dylan.
Yes.
All right, man. That's one of the Tekashi song.
Thanks, bro.
No, we're not. I'm playing. No, we not. All right, man. Justin Hunte, the company man on everything.
We're going to have this live on YouTube tomorrow.
Let's go.